And this is the crisis of the age. This is what Malcolm really meant when he said that white is a state of mind. You know.
On a certain level, because I tend to be parochial, for one thing, and I tend to care about Afro-Americans, which I would define as the sons and daughters of slaves and slave owners. So as we...
That doesn't sound very parochial to me.
Well, it's very parochial. Because I don't care about my third world brothers and sisters and things like that I'm sure I should.
You mean that you're not responsible for them?
No, I just can't deal with it. I just feel like if everybody deal with their own situation. I mean, if I deal with my block and you deal with your block,
and Malcolm,
then we'll have two good blocks.
And Malcolm said that too.
Well, Malcolm said everything, which I would grant he encompassed. But as we begin to look at white as being a state of mind, we find that frequently a white face will have a white mind. Occasionally a black face will have a white mind. But rarely do we find a white face with a black mind. But we find that the frequent thing is that a white face will have a white mind. So for those few mistakes that you would make, it's unfortunate.
I agree. I wouldn't argue that at all. Makes no difference to me. A cop is a cop.
Cops are white.
And I mean, he might be a fine gentleman, but he has a uniform and a gun. And I have to look at him that way. That's the only way to look at him. Because one of us may have to die.
One of us may. They got this big campaign going on right now in New York City, upstate, and they got all these poster boards, billboards, these billboards, to humanize the policemen. And they got this great big cop standing over this little blonde girl, and it says, and some people call him Pig. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and I said, I want to get a billboard, and I want to show this cop standing over this 14-year-old kid with 30 bullet holes in him, and say, and some people call him Peacemaker.
You ought to do one thing. You ought to do what Lorraine Hansberry said to Bobby when we had that famous meeting at the Kennedy Center. Lorraine said to Bobby, who's also dead.
Everybody's dead.
Lorraine said to Bobby something about black manhood. Jerome Smith had been speaking about black manhood. But Lorraine said she wasn't too worried about the black man because they had done all well, all things considered. She was very proud of them. But she was concerned about the state of the civilization that produced that photograph of that white cop in Birmingham standing on that black woman's neck.